Just so you know, Daft Monks is half talk show, half actual play campaign that features adult language and topics. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's get to it. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Nat One Presents the Daft Monks podcast. Back to our regular scheduled programming. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Nate. How's it going?
I missed Jock already.
He was great. If you're new to the podcast or you are continuing to listen and last episode was your first episode, welcome. We do a lot of that dumb roleplay shit. And then also instead of the interviewing part, we usually just have some like funny news and whatnot. So Nate, hit us up with the first headline or first topic for today.
Okay. Normally, I would bring to the table conspiracy theories, things I found intriguing on the internet, why I'm scared of technology and the internet. But we're going to change it up a little bit today. Nate, I want to talk about getting old. Now, I am almost 35 years old, which seems ancient. If you would have asked 20-year-old Nate, hey, you're going to be 35, I would have been like, what do you got? Bad hips? I'm like, almost. Bad back. Try that. So I've been going back to jitsu classes, and I made the mistake of rolling with a white belt, which is the beginner level.
Is he dead?
No, actually, because we're talking about age, I'm the one who got extremely hurt.
Oh, no.
So I tried a fancy move. It's called a worm lasso guard. And for those of you that don't know, which is probably everybody, all you do is take the lapel of their little gi jacket and I wrap my leg around it. And that gives me complete control of his upper body. Well, this dude being fairly new, and me being rusty as shit, not having grappled for about a year and a half since I moved away from Arizona, I was a little bit slow on my reaction time. So when he made a movement, my heel went to my balls while my knee completely stayed in position and made the loudest pop I have ever heard a knee make. That is not on an Instagram video or YouTube. It was my knee, the one that I own, attached to my body. And it made the most horrific sound. And then immediately after, I'm like, oh my God, Nate, you fucked up. You're old. You can't be doing this. You know, like, what are you doing out here? Right now, I'm about 70%. They don't tell you when you're young about healing factor.
This is a great time to check in on your Eins, I would say. So, listeners, a couple of weeks ago, Nate said that he is taking a break or quitting whatnot his Eins, which right is or Eins, sorry, creatine, caffeine, right, nicotine, and acetaminophen.
Yeah, Tylenol, basically.
How's that going, given the state of your knee that you just totally?
Well, I've completely given up on the Tylenol. I had to take that right away. And the nicotine as well, considering I couldn't move and I get extremely bored and I'm a fidgeter. So I'm like, I need something. I need my fix. So I'm locked up on the couch with an ice pack on my knee. And I feel it's like those 80s movies, you know, where like the cop that's close to retirement, he's like, I'm too old for this shit, Murdoch, you know, and like, 2 ice packs on the knees. Like, I felt like that was my life at that time. But if we're going to continue talking about age, I'm tired of finding gray hairs or my hair falling out when it's not supposed to be. They just don't mentally prepare you this. I felt like I just woke up one day and it's like, holy shit, you're old. Like, what happened?
But what's great about getting older is hopefully if you've been doing the right thing, you are making more money. Hopefully you have a lot more freedom to buy dumb shit or do the things that you want. Hopefully you don't have to live with family anymore, potentially, and no judgment if you do. But definitely, I think back all the time, like all these movies are like, wouldn't it be cool to go back and do high school again? And I'm like, no, it wouldn't.
Not at all.
No, I'm way happier now. I'm like, I've got money. I have my own home. I'm a homeowner. I have pets. I don't know. Like I'm in a happy relationship. I'm like self-confident, which I definitely wasn't in high school. Like, I'm just like, that was a terrible time. I would not want to do that again.
Right. And then honestly, Nate, like, are we talking about going back to our time in high school, or are we going to high school now? Because if we're going to high school now, there is no way I would even be able to communicate with these kids and their slang, like that's cap or what the fuck ever they're saying nowadays. Like, That's what makes me feel really old is hearing these kids talk, and I'm like, is this even fucking English? Like, what's going on out on the streets?
What would do it for me is because I go back and forth of like, if you had the knowledge that I had now to go back in high school, wouldn't you be like so much like better at everything and handle everything better? But the thing is, today bullying is on another level, Nate.
Oh yeah, and then like instantly the whole school knows now. Like someone could like live broadcast it and be like, hey, this dude has a booger in his nose. And now you're the booger guy.
Tara, I don't want to go back. I feel for children these days.
Oh yeah, I'm scared.
Godspeed.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Nate, I was really excited for our new listeners. If you're not a new listener, you've heard me bring it up many times, but I was almost on a reality TV show, got to like the final casting part, and I did not make it onto the Squid Games reality TV show. But I have been searching the headlines because they have been really funny as of late. But lately, it seems like they've like stopped. Like everything's gone silent now. Like maybe they've narrowed down enough players where like if you talk to press, they're going to know who you are or something.
Because how many originally started?
456 contestants.
Holy shit. So that would be really hard to find the mole out of 456 people.
Yeah, totally. So the first round, 227 went home.
Oh,
like just the first round. And then that left, I think, like 255 or I don't know, some kind of math. But now that was a couple of weeks ago. So now definitely they're probably, I think they might still be playing now. Like some poor, like sleep deprived, like sickly person, like underfed, is like trying to win $4.56 million right now, and it's not me. And I just hope it's not the fucking quirky guy who took my role.
Oh, I know. I already hate that guy. I don't even know who he is. I bet he was out in the first go round because he got too cold. He was like trying to be quirky, you know.
I hope so. I hope he got out. I hope he flew all the way to the UK and got out on the first challenge and then had to go home.
Yeah, serves him right.
And got 2 pieces of pizza in the meantime.
I hope he didn't get any of that fucking pizza.
I hope someone ate his pizza, Nate. All right, Nate, I have a little challenge for you today. You don't have to do any research, just off the top of your head. It's been really popular on social media lately where people are like, they take like workouts or whatever, and they do like D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, S tier. So I want you to either call out some classes or D&D books or expansions, and I want you to put them in tiers. Like, what's your S tier D&D? And then like, what's your D tier? And you know, whatever, anything in between.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have to go in order or anything like that. Just like off top of your head, what's like, we all know Ranger, right, is not hitting S or A tier for you.
Oh, okay. So automatically, right off the top of my head, Player's Handbook is going to be getting an A. It is the foundation for everything that we need to know playing Dungeons and Dragons. Immediately after that was the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and that gets an F. If there's a class lower than F, I would give it that, because that thing is complete garbage. It has classes such as the Purple Dragon Knight, which should just be eradicated completely from the D&D metaverse because it does nothing, absolutely nothing. In fact, I played it in whatever episode that I was John Johnson. I was a Purple Dragon Knight because I wanted to be the lamest fucking character I could make, and I picked a Purple Dragon Knight. So yeah, good luck with that. S tier, I think. Really, I like the Mordecai's Tome of Foes. It's mostly just demons and stuff, but I think there's a lot of good monsters and creatures in that book, and I enjoy using it. Xanthar's Guide to Everything, also I gave that an S tier because at the time it gave us pretty much the only good subclasses for a lot of people.
Was that when Glamour Bard came out, right? I think it was Xanthar's.
I think that was Xanthar's, yep.
Big favorite.
And the Grave Cleric and things like that, really good. I count the Magic the Gathering one as a part of everything.
Eberron? What is it?
No, there's Eberron Rising, which was a good book, and then that's where we got a lot of the Artificer. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. But there was one little like segment thing where it counts because it is Wizards of the Coast material, but it's not really D&D realm. I don't know if you remember, Nate, I played that Fire Cleric that was in that thing, and that shit was OP bananas. Like if there was an S+, it would be that Magic the Gathering Fire Cleric thing, because you get fire spells.
When did you play that? When did you play the Fire Cleric? I don't remember.
So what campaign was it? I was the Fire Cleric, and then Jeff tried killing my sidekick that I stole or something.
Was that Sugar Tits?
No, it was a different sidekick. I steal a lot of NPCs.
It's the theme.
Yes, I steal a lot of NPCs. I stole this small child and told him that he's now my sidekick, a.k.a. my Dick Grayson to my Bruce Wayne. And I guess that didn't sit well with Jeff. So he tried to have him assassinated or me assassinated. And I was so pissed, I left by myself, broke into the Assassin's Guild, murdered every single assassin in there. There was probably 13 dudes in there. And then the master head assassin, and also murdered him because this...
As a fire cleric.
Yes, because this fire cleric's channel divinity was that you can do max damage on your fire spells like twice. So I shot the biggest fireball that I could fucking shoot in there and automatic max damage no matter what. And
Jesus.
Yeah, it was decimation. And so anybody looking for an OP fun class, Magic the Gathering fucking fire cleric.
If you want your friends to hate you, that sounds like a great class to play in D&D.
Oh, yeah. And then obviously the biggest letdown ever was Spelljammer. I didn't even bother buying it because all the reviews were so atrocious. So I'm going to give that a rock solid D.
That's the one you DM for us, right?
I did my own version, retrofitted off the fucking 80s Spelljammer, but right before the fucking Spelljammer module came out, which good thing I didn't waste my money on that Spelljammer module because the biggest part of it is flying in a ship and going from planet to planet and doing all these things. They don't give you any rules on flying these ships or like time or anything like that, and it really takes you out of it. So I don't know if it was too hard for them to make something up with 5e or if this was just another money grab.
Yes,
money grab. Oh, and then now, actually, if you do have one of the first editions of that Spelljammer edition that came out, it's going to be extremely rare, Nate, because they don't make that first edition anymore, because come to find out there was a race in there that was of a monkey hybrid people that come to find out was extremely offensive. And
yikes.
Yeah, and then they proceeded to take that out. So if you're one of the lucky few that has the
monkey race book,
you have the very racist
holy moly.
Wizards of the Coast Spelljammer. Congratulations. Hang it up there with Mein Kampf or whatever else you got in your library.
I like look in the back and it's like hanging on your wall. I'm not just kidding.
Just that one page is frame. I'm like, this thing's going to be rare someday, Nate.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because we talked about last year how they started to roll back a lot of like, like goblins don't have to be, whatever, this nature and whatnot. So probably that all maybe started with that Spelljammer edition.
Oh,
perhaps.
I guarantee it, because it was just this blatant monkey person jumping up and down on a ball wearing also offensive cultures from another culture. The clothes it was wearing, yes.
He's got like boxers pulled up and like
it is terrible.
Baggy pants. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Bad.
Now I'm curious.
Are you gonna look it up?
Way, but yeah, after this podcast. We learned last time. I'll let listeners in on a little secret. Last week when we had Jack on the show, my internet was shitting itself. So every so often in the episode, if you hear like one part that might be obvious is like I say something and then you hear Jack and Nate be like, stunned into silence, I see. And then I respond with something, but it's like, yeah, that was one of the many times I froze and we just rolled with it. And then I tried to edit out as much as possible. So I think we still got a coherent episode, but I was just in and out of that call. I was so excited to meet Jack and I really only got about a third of the time in there that I was expecting, but it worked out. He was a real good sport and we got a mostly decent episode out of it.
He was. I was more upset than he was. I was like, this never happens, I promise. I don't know what's going on with Nate.
I felt a little embarrassed, like I'm like business in the front, you're, party in the back, like you're the funny guy, the funny voices, the soul of the show. But then I'm like got my T's crossed, my I's dotted, like I have like the software all ready. And then, it just shits the bed, my internet, which I think it's doing right now, actually, as we talk.
It was, yes. What are the chances?
Could you hear me the whole time? I just saw your face freeze. What's the irony?
I could hear you, but your face was completely frozen in a not very flattering.
Classic. Okay, well, we're going to keep rolling with it. We'll see how it goes. That's so funny. I summoned it.
Right. But it worked out good for Van Helsing, your little pauses, because the way his character is, he doesn't listen to a lot of things anyways. So he's like, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, I noticed no differences in your character, but like that time you actually probably couldn't hear me, but that's always how you play your character.
Right.
So actually, until you've just said that, it didn't occur to me even that, oh yeah, he didn't hear what I said. That's probably why he said that, because you say that anyway. That's so funny. So anywho, today, listeners, we're going to go back to last episode with Jack. Was kind of, it is canon, but somewhere in the timeline somewhere. Kind of doesn't fully make sense, so that's okay. But we're going to go back to our mainline story. And we kind of have a split season this season currently, where we've been following Van Helsing and his mentor Bingo in one area of the world. And then we have Belmont and his new companion Nayenezgani. So this episode, we'll be going back to that duo and exploring. So Nada, what do you say? You ready to jump into some D&D? Just kidding. It's actually not D&D. It's whatever we play, which is Daft Monks roleplay.
I am ready. The darkness is approaching yet again. The vampires have outnumbered us 4-1, and our odds are not in our favor. It seems as if all hope is lost.
I wouldn't quite say lost, as probably misplaced or something along those lines. But either way, fear not, for Van Helsing and Belmont are here to save you.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Nate, as Van Helsing, it is your job to give an entirely inaccurate recap of... We usually recap the last episode, but the last episode was a guest episode, which I don't think we want to do. So what's the last sequential story episode? Can you give us the Van Helsing summary, Spark Note edition, as it were?
All right, so there they were. Belmont, my dearest friend, was captured, and there was nothing I could do about it because I was stuck with that dreaded swami swindler Bingo. And then he met a friend. Not as good of a friend as me, but apparently this friend is far more adequate at doing things, like he's an actual monster slayer. If, like, that's important to you, I guess. I mean, I bring the fun and the blackberries and hang out with women and do fun stuff, but whatever. If you want a real monster slayer friend, that's fine. And then they talked about their lives or whatever, and then they witnessed Blake being brutally murdered. Naya did nothing, really, to help. I mean, as far as being adequate monster slayer, he really didn't do anything. And then he brutally threw my best friend through a window, and then threw him through another window out the second story. And then they fell down, they landed on Blade, and for some reason, Belmont stripped Blade completely naked and stole his clothes. Now, there's a naked, dead Blade in Dracula's moat. They went through the blackberry bush to the Belmont estate, where they saw the most terrifying thing that I have probably ever seen. Okay, scratch that. Second most terrifying thing. I saw some things, but this was terrifying. It was Belmont's father, just protruding out of the manor, and then he kind of poofed, I think. So that's where we left off.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's exactly where we left off. So today's episode will be Belmont and Nayenezgani jumping in, trying to see what's going on at the Belmont estate. Well, Naya, that's very like my father to phase out of the room whenever I try to make contact with him. But as much as I'd like to go pursue him right now, we have to do something about this portal that's swallowing up this land.
Yes, my land, you mean?
Yes, your land originally that was fairly bartered with my ancestors and is now... It doesn't matter, whatever. It's our land. We can both come from the same place. It doesn't matter who has the deed, which is my family. But regardless, all I can see is my entire former house is like just sinking into this portal. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to stop it. What do we do?
I've dealt with things like this before. The first thing we're going to have to do is enter the portal. There is something inside that we need to take care of. There's usually an artifact or something that we need to break, or some kind of charm that needs to be discharmed. There is something inside, some unfinished business, if you will. I'm going to go take care of it. And he just starts walking.
Oh, Naya, I really don't want to walk in the portal of doom that my giant angelic demon father just came out of. But if you insist, I'll go with you. You don't have to do this on your own. I just imagine like you're already in the portal. He's like,
yeah, I'm already gone.
God damn it. He jumps in. And I'm going to say, like, I imagine we get this, like, sensation of, like, falling and then, like, swirling memories around. And then at first they're very blurry. And suddenly, like, the blurriness starts to, like, come into focus. Okay, I think I know where we are. Or better yet, Naya, when we are.
I don't quite follow you. It looks the exact same, only, more lively around here.
I think we're looking at the past. This is my child home. This is what the Belmont Manor used to look like 34 years ago, and this is the night I was actually born. I don't remember it super fondly, but my mother told me the story many, many times. They called a midwife, and everybody was very excited for my birth. And here, let's go. Here, follow me. And we go up to this like door, and we open it, and that brings us like right into like the top floor of the manor estate. Here, follow me now. I know what's going on. Here, listen. We open the door, and you can see my father, my mother in labor on the bed, and then my two very young siblings. They're like very, very young at the time. I have like a brother and sister. And then we're just like in the room, but they can't see us. Yeah, they can't see us, Naya. This is, oh my gosh, I'm watching my own birth. Isn't that wild?
This is incredibly crazy. Let me check something. And he goes and like puts his hand through the floor, and it just kind of phases through. He's like, oh, I see. This is your kind of deal. What exactly are we doing here? Are you coming out of that lady right there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you hear. You said some kind of resolution has to occur for this portal to close and stop sucking in the land around it. So I guess let's see what we have to hear. Let's watch me get born, shall we? You hear Belmont's mother like screaming like really loudly, like, "Where is the midwife? Ah!"
I'm here. It's me, just the midwife. And this portly lady comes walking in with a surgical mask on.
That voice sounds awfully familiar, Naya.
I have never heard that voice before in my life. There could be something wrong with the enchantment. Maybe the spell is crossing your memories together, perhaps?
Yes, that would make perfect sense. 1, 2, 3, push! And you hear, and then like a baby crying, like, wah.
It's a beautiful baby boy. Congratulations, Belmont's wife.
And Belmont's father is, thank you, Nurse.
Nurse Ratchet. That's my name, Nurse Ratchet. I came in on a ship. I'm new here.
Oh.
I just had to see this baby be born, and then I'm going to be about my way. Congratulations on everything. Oh, he's adorable. Carry on.
And Van Helsing like hands the baby to Belmont's father. Oh, this is unique. And Belmont's mother's like, what do you mean, Victor? All Belmonts have the same birthmark. It's like some kind of curse we've had for as long as we can remember here on these lands. But, well, Trevor doesn't seem to have it.
As the nurse is leaving, he takes off his mask and looks back at Mrs. Belmont. She's the only one looking at him right now, and he gives her a wink and a finger gun, and then he's out the door.
And Belmont's mother is like, well, it's just a birthmark. Yeah, of course, my dear. And everybody, like the little kids come over, and the baby's crying. And wow, I think that was the last time my entire family was happy. And then quickly the room starts like swirling and blurring, and then you're back in this like memory hallway. Naya, that room wasn't particularly helpful. Watching my birth wasn't really any kind of resolution at all. I don't really know what we're supposed to be doing here.
There has to be something here. Are you sure it needs to be like a conflict resolution? What if there's just something we need to destroy? Like that baby that came out of that lady. What if we need to destroy that baby?
No, it's haven't you watched Timeline or any of those movies? Like we can't fuck with that shit, man. All right? No, we are passive observers, okay? Naya, sheesh.
Oh, just like Quantum Leap. Okay.
Yes, just like that. Okay, ooh, look, one of the doors is coming to focus again. I think I know what this is. The door, I kind of imagine it's like Nightmare Before Christmas, where there's like the Halloween door and the Christmas door. Like the doors are like decorated and like very like representative of like what you see on the other side.
Yes, I love it.
And so this door has like axes and weapons standing out and like cuts and scratches. I remember this memory. This is a fond one. This is where I did some of my Monster Hunter training with the family.
Oh, I guess I will follow you. I'd like to see what other people do to train for their monster slaying.
So he opens the door, and inside is like there's like swinging logs and like these like all these like things like throwing weapons and like these kind of like counter objects that you're trying to avoid and dodge. You can see 3 children, 2 older ones, my Belmont's brother and sister, and then myself kind of off to the side. And you can see that Belmont's brother and sister are like perfectly navigating the entire obstacle course, like just seamlessly, like very like Azula energy, flipping through, like in sync with each other. They're basically like twins. You hear Belmont's father like, yes, very good, very good. You guys are excellent. And maybe one day Belmont will pick up on at least a percentage of what you guys are able to accomplish. And he looks over and like grimaces at me. See, Naya, this was just like my dad. Like nothing I could do ever amounted to anything. Like he wanted me to be like my siblings, but they were perfect. They were his perfect children, and I was just this piece of shit who couldn't do a backflip into a somersault into a dagger throw. It was ridiculous. The expectations were too high for a 7-year-old.
I don't know about that. Those kids are good. You can't be like those kids? I mean, they're pretty good. I'd let them fight with me.
Come on, Naya. Like, what were you doing when you were 7 years old?
Slaughtering beasts. One was rampant through my village, and at 7 years old, I single-handedly destroyed it with a spear.
Okay, we get it. You're the son of a sun god. God damn it. I don't know why that keeps coming up. That's fine. I just don't get it, Like, at one point, watch. Belmont, you're no son to me. Get out. And I, like, say it, like, in sync as, like, my father says it with me, and I'm like, who says that? That is so hurtful.
I mean, if you want the title of Monster Slayer, then, you kind of have to be that good. I mean, look at you as a 7-year-old kid. You're obviously a little overweight and pudgy, and there's a little bit of hair on your lip at this point. It's really awkward.
Puberty hit me really early, Naya, and it was weird. It just, all the weight and the hair, it all happened at once. Like, I had to start shaving, and my dad wouldn't even teach me how to shave, Naya. I had to learn how to shave. Do you know how hard it is when you're 7-year-old to shave? Do you know how many times I butchered my face completely?
No, I've never shaved in my life. This smooth, natural skin.
God damn it, you don't look a day over 230. Going on 26.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Must be all that jujitsu you've been doing. Anywho, wait, this part kind of haunts me still. Watch this. You see, like, little Belmont, like, get up on the obstacle course again, and he clumsily, like, stumbles through a lot of it, and he's getting through it, and he's mostly fine. And then you see his little brother from, like, he's, like, up high up in the air, and his little brother's like, hey, watch this. Hey, fat lard, and, like, throws something, and it's just, like, something small, and it hits Belmont in the head, and he, like, turns around and is like, why did you... And then, like, a log, like, smashes him in the head. And then just literally everybody starts laughing. His brother, his sister, even his dad's like, you're no son to me.
You look over and Naya's laughing.
Naya, what the hell? This is damaging. I've been recovering from this. I still haven't recovered this, and I'm a full-grown adult now.
That log totally smashed you in the face.
The worst part, Naya, after all of this, was that I had a personal trainer. I had a coach there, and he was not helpful at all. Like, in fact, anything he taught me, that just made my father more angry.
It, like, shimmers a little bit and, like, fast forwards in time in the memory. And then there's a man there wearing a turban, and his face is partly covered. He looks a little portly.
Now, if you fall down again, just pick up a handful of dirt and throw it in their eyes. We call that pocket sand. It's the most strategical maneuver that one can do against slaying the monsters.
Belmont, don't listen to that coward. Learn to fight like a real man.
I am a swami and a personal trainer, and I shall get this child into shape, this beautiful young man-child with strong bone structure. I will help him.
You just see Belmont, like, walking off Belmont's father, rather, walking in the distance. And he's like, why do we keep hiring this guy? Ugh.
I'm a different guy. I promise.
That voice, it haunts me to this day, that trainer who taught me nothing. Do you know one time he told me to, oh my God? No, that can't be right. He told me to punch somebody in the stomach when they weren't looking. That was his best tip. I did that in school once and got in huge trouble.
It's called a sucker punch.
As the memory's still playing in the background.
Naya, I think my memories are caving in on each other. That sounds like Van Helsing. He's invading my fucking memories.
You sure care a lot about your friend for him to continually barge into your memories like this.
It's totally intrusive and uncalled for.
Did you see the trainer, though, when he turned away and took off his mask and turban? He looked just like the nurse when she turned away. There must be a family of helpful people living in your little village here.
So they walk out and the hallway, continues to like fade in and out of focus. And it's like, this is horrible. I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do, but except for just opening random doors to painful memories. But whatever, let's see what's in this one.
You sure you haven't seen any correlation so far? Like, I've seen a couple point A's to point B's.
Yeah, the correlation is my family is awful. I had a terrible childhood and everything sucks, Naya. But did I miss something?
No. Keep going. This is great.
Great.
Remember we got smashed in the face with that log?
They go into the next room and it's like the whole family's in a wagon together. Belmont's like, Mom, are we there yet? I'm so tired. And Belmont's dad's like, oh, hush you. Learn to be patient like your brother and sister. And they're just like making faces at him and like whatever. Then after a couple seconds, the like sister's like, Driver, when will we arrive there at Heron Vineyard?
Ah, yes, Heron Vineyard. It's right around the corner, I believe. I'm not the best at navigating or anything like that.
No. Belmont like climbs out of the carriage in his memory and like comes up and like sits like in the seat next to like Van Helsing, or the driver. That seems. He's like, no, you cannot possibly be my memories. You get the fuck out of here, Van Helsing. Get out of here right now. And wherever the real driver is, put him back in this memory.
There's a fat, portly man with a driver's coat and hat on with driving gloves, but also wearing 2 eye patches for some reason.
He's the driver.
Yes.
I think we're almost there. I'm guessing at this point.
We're not even on the road. We're just like going in a random direction.
The town does a terrible job at maintaining these roads and highways.
Honey, don't be so cruel to the driver. He's doing the best he can.
Thanks, babe.
This is horrible, Naya. Naya, are you here? Where are you?
I've been here the whole time.
Okay. Very helpful, Naya. Do you know this was a terrible trip? Not only did it take 6 hours to go a 40-minute trip to Heron Vineyard, but also, when we got there, my dad freaked the fuck out. Well, here, you'll see, watch. And so they arrive at Heron Vineyard, and it's supposed to be Belmont's christening, actually. He's, what do they call that? There's like baptism, first communion, and then what's after that? You get confirmed. It's his confirmation, we'll say.
Confirmation.
Belmont gets confirmed. And he's like, this was supposed to be a really big deal. Like, honestly, when you're a kid, you usually get thousands of bucks for these types of things. But what I got instead was my dad's unending anger and just fury. And so they're walking through and they're going like down the hallway. And this cuts back to, if you remember at Heron Vineyard when we were there a few episodes ago, there was these like stained glass like paintings, right? Mm-hmm. Or murals or whatnot. And we remember a few episodes that one of them was actually like shattered or like completely like destroyed. We couldn't see what it was. You see just, totally cool and calm and collected Belmont's father looking at each one. He's just observing like, okay, it looks like some kind of darkness setting over the land and then a vampire. And then suddenly the last one is this beautiful mural of a portly figure with a mustache holding a child in a blackberry bush surrounded by blackberries with a sun behind his head. And Belmont's father just loses it. He picks up like the nearest like thing on the ground, like, I don't know, like a candle, for confessional or something, and just throws it through the window and it smashes. Everywhere. I see this man everywhere I go. I can't look at my son without seeing his face.
All of a sudden, a fat, portly friar comes up with a big burly mustache.
Oh, that was my favorite one. I can't believe you broke that. A fortune teller came in and told us that that's going to be the future, and then that's why it's on the glass.
Belmont's like, Friar, are you here to do my confirmation?
Of course I am, little Belmont. You're my best little buddy, aren't you?
See, Naya, I don't get it. Like, he just loses his mind, starts ruining property of the church. I don't understand. I was just trying to be happy and exist,
Honestly, I'm going to have to let you figure this out on yourself. I figured it out probably 2, maybe 3 memories ago. But if you can't get it, that's probably why we're still stuck here. So you go ahead and you figure that out, and I will quietly watch. I'm going to go back to the room where you got hit in the face with that log, because that shit was hilarious.
Fine. I don't need your help anyway, Naya. Go have fun watching my face get knocked in.
He somehow is perfectly able to navigate this dreamscape.
Like he just like phases out.
Yeah, waves a hand and a door appears and it opens up and it's right back to the training room and the log's smashing you.
I go to like grab that door and it phases away. I'm like, oh, okay. I have to like walk the long way down the hallway of Heron Vineyard Church back to like the front entrance, and I open that and it brings me back to the hallway. Naya's seeing something I'm not. I need to open my eyes and see what's in front of me. And just then, like, the hallway disperses, and then, like, a single door opens up. And it's very dark, and it's very, like, stormy. There has some, like, glass panes that are shattered, and there's, like, lightning behind it. And, like, okay, well, I know what this memory is, and maybe this will help me piece it all together. Belmont opens the door, pushes it through, and he's at the Belmont estate late at night during a stormy night. And he's still fairly young, and he can hear his parents fighting. He like gets out of bed and opens the door, and it's like, Mom, Dad, and they can't hear him because they're just fighting like so loud. And he keeps going, and he like slowly opens their like door and pushes the door open. We hear Belmont's father like, "With him of all people, how could you?" Belmont's mother is like, "Please, Vincent, please, he's still your son. He's no son of mine." And they're just like bickering. I don't understand. Like that night they were fighting. This is the night. And actually he goes up to the window. He's like, I know it happens here. And he looks out the window and he sees his mom like go out the door with her bags packed. And there's a Latoot Tents wagon, which is parked outside. And he gets in she gets in.
Nothing to see here. My name is just Leo Latoots, proprietor of Latoots Tents. Obviously, based on the branding on the side of the wagon, I am merely taking her to a hotel, I promise, for the night. She'll be perfectly safe. We love each other. Bye. Oh, hey, son. And he's like waving up to the window.
This is like really high and like super far away, and he like somehow zeroes in on little Belmont. And Belmont's like, Dad? Who you calling Dad? Me or the Latoots driver? I don't know what you're talking about. Go to bed. I've had enough for this tonight. And he like goes and slams the door. All right, my mom has a thing for Van Helsing. Boom, portal solved. Disperse. He's like trying to like just wait, and nothing happens, and then like the memory disperses, and then Naya is just like standing there again.
Eating blackberries from one of your other memories. I think you need to go deeper than this. Like, yes, your mother loved this Van Helsing character, obviously, but really contemplate. Man, I miss these blackberries.
Okay, fine. Let's go to the blackberries. Immediately, the surroundings change, and my mom's like in a sun hat, like with little Belmont, and Belmont's like, Mom, can I go pick some more blackberries? Okay, but make sure you put your sunscreen on and go with the gardener.
Come on, boy. Let's go pick these delicious blackberries. You know, you have to be careful out here and put on the sunscreen because you're not quite like these other Belmonts. You know, you have a fair skin, much like I do, and we need to make sure we're covered from the dreadful, terrible sun. I bet there's some kind of god up there just bearing down upon us, just judging us, you know. But let's go pick these blackberries.
He doesn't know how right he is.
Belmont goes and he's like, I got it on my own. I don't need you, gardener. And he goes and like starts picking, and he's out there for a while, and he's like, all right, this should be enough. And as he comes out of the bush, Van Helsing is just totally banging his mom.
Yes, you like that? Of course you do.
Oh my God. I don't remember this. I must have repressed it. I don't know. Oh my God. They're not stopping. Disperse.
No, this is going to keep going.
Naya, do something, please.
He's just eating some more blackberries. Like, I don't mind it.
Okay, I get it. I'm not a Belmont. And suddenly everything like just like melts away, and they're just like out in the field of the Belmont estate, not in the house anymore. And it kind of seems almost serene and normal. All right, Naya, I won't deny it anymore. Van Helsing is a bigger part of my life than I ever wanted to admit. I thought he was invading my memories, but he's just always been there.
And how does that make you feel?
Like shit.
Yes, deservedly so, I'm sure. But this memory that we're in now in this field seems awfully familiar to me as well. Oh, look, there's my great-grandfather talking to... he's got the Belmont crest that you wear. Who is that?
Oh my god, that's my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy. Balenciaga. Balenciaga Belmont. I'm so bad at names, Nate. It's wild. It's wild.
BB for short, I'm sure you called him.
Yeah. No, we called him Balenciaga. Anyway, I know what this is, and this will settle the dispute, Naya. This is where my family fairly purchased the land from your tribe. Observe.
As they're trying to make some kind of arrangement together, you see that Belmont Balenciaga pulls out a dagger and just stabs the chief in the back, and he falls down dead. And you look over at Naya, who is just staring you down with an "I told you so" look. And then the blood is pouring out into the blackberry bushes, and now all of a sudden they're growing more, like more fruitful. Yes, you told me, all right.
Ooh, well, this is uncomfortable, but hey, wait, what's this going on? Why the rest of your, natives who could have clearly just went and killed probably my entire family, why are they laughing and, grouping up over there?
Oh, it's a funny story, you see. They believed that this was going to happen, like it was a sure thing. So the chief did a blood ritual on himself, that if his blood were to spill into this field, it would forever be cursed, and the family that owns the field would also be cursed for pretty much ever.
Wait, so you're saying my family is cursed? Well, okay, that's kind of his fault, but your family cursed my family, and that's why my daddy doesn't love me. And then suddenly, all of the memories, completely melt away, and then we're back at the portal. I guess we did get some closure. I feel better already, don't you, Naya?
No, not at all.
But the portal hasn't closed. What's going on? I think my stuff is complete here.
Obviously, you need to go in first this time, and I will follow. And there must be some kind of trivial trial that I need to do as well for this portal to fully close. I don't understand the magic completely, but I guess since both of us walked in...
How do you like it? And I just jump in the portal.
Damn it. And I knew that he stole this land. Get back here. And he comes running in after you.
And we'll call it there for today.
Solid, Nate.
Nate, thank you so much. So next week, we will go back to Grocer Burger and check in with Van Helsing, who, what do you think, Nate? Van Helsing's not doing so hot. Is that pretty safe to say?
Oh, yeah, he is miserable. He misses his son, Belmont. He's getting pretty tired of Bingo's shenanigans, but I think he also kind of wants to see where it leads, to see if he can stop him from basically taking over the daylight while Dracula rules the nighttime.
We might see the first fully formulated ethical plan from a Van Helsing.
Maybe.
Sorry, from Van Helsing Sr. Are we going to start calling Junior? Belmont?
Oh, my little Helsing. I knew you would do it. You make your daddy so proud.
All right, Nate, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for checking back in again, and we will join you next week for another exciting adventure of Daft Monks. If you like the show, feel free to leave a rating on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or feel free to share your favorite episode with your friends and family on social media. Help us get some extra plays.
And if you really love us, don't we have like a subscribe thing or something, Nate, or something like that?
We totally do. This useless software that keeps freezing on me does in fact cost money, Nate. Not a whole lot, but we'd love to get to break even on some of the editing software we use to produce this show. So feel free, just hit the episode link or the support our show link in the episode description, and you can right there from that page do a simple, $3 contribution or whatnot, and we would greatly appreciate it and give you a shout out on the show.
Yes, we will. Hersheyburger.
Thank you, and good night.
Bye. Congratulations, you've survived another episode of Daft Monks. Did you enjoy the episode? Do you love the show? Do you want to pay for our dental plan? If so, I think it's only fair that you show Nat One some love in return. No,
No, not that kind of love. Please, put it away. Oh, I meant follow us on our social medias and all that good stuff. Simply click the links in the episode description to follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, or click support our show to make a monthly contribution to help pay for all the expensive software Nate subscribes to. And don't worry, other Nate will see the money eventually as it grows, but not anytime soon. I promise. Lastly, do you want even more Nat 1 goodness? Of course you do. Who wouldn't? Then click the prequel podcast link to listen to our experimental first season of podcasting for 50 plus more episodes of conspiracy theories, messy one-shot campaigns, and of course, all of your favorite Nat 1 hijinks. Now, thank you a ton, and we will talk to you next week.